Again, I'm out of the hospital. I is still in my head. Still had a business meeting, so I didn't go live for that. Thank you, Princess. Ooh. Well, I'll see you next time.
Okay, it's so good to see you.
I only come when it's sunny.
Yeah.
It's a good 35 miles from my front door to here. But someday,
You have to come out that way.
oh yes, I'm going to. I have a very strange friend from Chicago. He's from Yugoslavia, and he is, Muslim. But people don't understand Muslims are just Christians on steroids.
I know that.
Right.
My husband's Muslim.
Well, there you go. No, but it's genetic. If you're, either is my friend, but he still does Ramadan. Do you do Ramadan in the house?
He does, but I used to just for health reasons.
Right.
But I don't anymore because I'm up my person.
I basically do it once a week.
Yeah.
Just tip my hat.
Yeah.
But I'll bring him here. But he does travel movies. And when he was younger, he was like, the Bourne books. He was, working for some intelligence thing. So he's very, and he married a brilliant woman who's a CEO of a large corporation. So she lets him travel the world just so he's not in her hair. I mean, they had the perfect relationship.
I like her.
And you would. I call her. She actually, you're the only friend of his I like because I call you queen. That's why I give you your respect. Because that's right. He doesn't. Of course he does. Yeah. He couldn't be alive without you. Right. So,
Oh.
yes. So you'll like him. So
Yeah.
he's coming Friday.
This Friday?
Yes, he's coming Friday. But Sunday, if it's sunny, whatever sunny day, he'll come over here. And he's cheaper than. Is your husband cheap?
I mean, he's gotten better over the
He's
last
gotten
few
better,
years.
right.
But he's,
Yeah. Part of
he
what
just grew up like that.
what part of the neighborhood is he from?
He's from Morocco.
Oh, okay. Morocco. Did you ever go home? But yeah, that's a beautiful place. Up in the mountains, really.
Yeah, he lives right up in the northern part, like near Tangier.
Yeah, near the Atlas. Yeah, it's pretty up there. I was very blessed to be born at the right time. And I lived in Sweden, and
I want to go to Sweden.
it's very boring, but beautiful.
I like boring.
But it's a great place to live. So I lived there a year. I got myself a Swedish driver's license. That looked just like a passport. Had a picture and everything, right? And in Sweden, they give everyone a vacation, right? Not just time off and the salary, but they pay for the vacation.
Oh,
That's half the year it's dark, and the other half the sun never sets. That's why the people are like, whoa! I mean, talk about scary psychopaths. That's them. And so I went up there and stayed with a friend and got his business together. And then he was trying to kill himself. I said, what are you doing? You got a great business, great wife, great kids. I said, how long have we known? Oh, 10 years, 15 years. What? Well, you work real hard for about 4 months and then you take off for a year and a half. That's called a vacation. You haven't ever taken one. So we went to Stockholm Airport, had a big board. If you're ready to get on the airplane, you could go anywhere in the world.
wow.
And it was the airplane flight, the hotel room, the tours, the meals, everything. And so, all the Swedes were gray. Their clothes were gray. Their skin was gray. They were gray. I'd be like Hawaiian shirt, cowboy hat, wearing sunglasses, cowboy boots. Well, I have a Swedish driver's license that looked like a passport. When we got on the airplane, we would get a visa from whatever country we were going to. So that's illegal going in, right? So they just look at that, look at me, look at, well, same picture, quick. One time I got stopped by a cop in Sweden and gave my driver's license and had all these country stamps on it. He goes, what's this? I said, well, I'm a tourist.
Wow.
And he just was like,
Oh my
So keep them guessing and they don't arrest you. So I went to Syria, Iraq, Iran, Libya in the 70s, right? And all those countries were run far better than ours. Everyone had a job, everyone had a house, everyone had a meal. There was no fighting, no wars. Yeah, if you told smack about the great leader, you would be disappeared. But
Right,
happens here.
but make sure you steer clear.
Look what happened at Fort Tucker Frederick. I'm sure he's getting well paid. Everything in our country is just scripted. There is not. I worked in TV land. I worked for Metro Media that Rupert Murdoch bought and turned it into Fox because they had TV stations everywhere. And there was nothing on air that wasn't scripted. Nothing. I don't. I have other people tell me what's going on.
Right?
I just tell stories. Make people laugh.
People will be like, "Are you supporting their family?"
Well, we're in a very strange spot. Where I'm at in that Sawtooth Mountains, I'm sitting on my deck with my dog, and my dog went, hey, hey. And I looked up, this tornado heading right towards us. No, and there are all these mountains around, right? So there's not even a breeze, right? There's not blue sky over my head. And I said, so what, should we get in the car and get under it? Just stay here? That was coming straight at us. It hit the bottom of that hill, bounced over us, and just saw the top of the big pine trees off, like that were like 50 feet above my head, and threw them all over the neighborhood.
Oh my God.
And they smashed in other people's houses, but mine, we didn't even have a breeze.
Wow.
So
crazy.
yeah, so that's weather, right? And there was no like little announcement saying, "Uh-oh," except for my dog going. She was good. She was my best.
So good to see you.
Okay, you'll see me again.
Okay, I'll see you this weekend probably.
Yeah, I'll bring this. You love this guy. He is. So he says like I'll tell you one story. He's so cheap. He sleeps in airports because you legally can. You can sleep in any of your blankets, right? So they don't wake you up, and it's not like you're in the park, you know.
Right.
So he doesn't get a motel room. So traveling with him, I have no money, but I live like a millionaire. So it's like, no, I might have seen a hotel or a motel or somebody else's house, but no. Anyway, so he's in this place, and he slept there. He woke up. He got himself a cup of coffee. Flights in 3 or 4 hours. So this lady comes up. He's sitting there, just like reading a book or doing something. And this lady comes up with, "You're bothering me." It's a gate. It's like 100 seats. He goes, "What do you mean I'm bothering you?" Well, you have to move. He goes, "Move? I've been here. I slept here." "You slept here?" And so she goes on and on about how he's like intimidating her. He goes, "Lady, get out of my face." He doesn't say it that nice. He says some choice words. And anyway, so some cops come and talk to him. And he shows them all his ID. And they go, yeah. And then over the radio, he hears, and so they kind of go off in that direction. He slowly comes behind her. So that woman talked to those guys, and they just came to check him out. But she then went to like the superior, who was another woman. And they got into it, and this woman tased her. And the little things are still into it. If the woman got up or even moved, just got. So that's what he does. He goes there just being himself. Something happens. He says a few words, which outrages that person who goes off and does something stupid and ends up being tased and end up in a Istanbul prison or something. So he is fun to be around. Just, I never stay too close just in case someone's going to shoot him. But he behaves. I can make him behave.
I'll be looking forward to
Yes,
it.
you'll like him.
I hope you have a good night.
Yeah, baby. I always do. And thank you for your hospitality. Oh, there's one person there. Oh, it's good Thai food. Oh, there he is. Oh, hey, boss, come here. Here's David. David, here's a young lady you should talk to. David, this is the guy I was telling you about. My traveling buddy. David, meet your name again?
Kinsey.
Lindsay.
Kinsey.
Kinsey.
Hi, David. How are you?
Well, I'm in her fancy Italian restaurant. We're going to have dinner or lunch here or brunch one day.
Oh, you're hanging out in hospitality, huh?
Yeah, she is. Yep. Mhm.
I'll be looking forward to meeting you.
Me too. I'll be there in a couple of days.
See you later.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
You're having a lunch with her. You already have a date, huh?
Yeah.
All right. That was easy, huh?
Well, her husband's Muslim.
Okay, man.
So,
What's going on, man?
well, I got out of the eye hospital alive, so that's one thing ticked off. So I can still see, and that's a good thing. So you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. So anyway, tomorrow I go to my cardiologist, and then Friday I come and get you.
Okay. 4:45.
Yep, 4:45. Yep.
What's with your heart? Regular check?
Oh, I don't know. No, they want to do some stupid thing where they put a balloon in your arteries and scrape them out.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a big fan of things like that.
What is that thing called? I forgot.
What is it called?
Angioplasty?
You got it. See, you know what it was.
Okay.
So it's like the procedure they did on my eye. They nicked a little vein, so my eye was like I looked like a comic book villain.
Well, you always look like that, but now you have an excuse.
Exactly.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
It's a freaking shame you don't have a couple of $100 to spare. We could really go for a trip, maybe 10 days.
Well, the beginning of the month I get my Social Security check, so
Listen, Mars, I'm going to plan something. You tell me when you get your check. Next time I plan, I come down there, we get a car, we go down to Myrtle Beach around there, fuck around, okay?
Okay. I mean, this would be the perfect time to do it because nobody's there.
Huh?
I said this would be the perfect time to do it because nobody is there.
Yeah, you're right, man.
I mean, if we went in the summertime, there'd be a zillion people there. Everything would be expensive.
Well, I'm thinking, I was actually considering coming back after I visit you.
Yep.
I was considering coming back in the middle of May for a few days.
No,
Uh-huh.
yeah. The first trip is just to see how to do it. And second
Yeah.
one, you're all comfy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Sounds like a plan. But I'm all, you know. So what is the date you're coming? What, the 27th?
28?
28th. Right. So it's almost the beginning of the month. And by Monday, it'll be the 1st. Right?
Yeah.
So, we'll play it by ear. But there's enough stuff around here to entertain you and to amaze, entertain, and expose.
Okay.
So what's happening in Chicago?
Well, spring is in the air. It's a nice, pleasant day.
What's the temp? Have a little more butter?
It's about 45.
Yeah, that's what it is about here, too.
It's one of those days I wish I could get a hard on without chemicals.
What day is that? You never can do that.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I hope that girl Kizzy didn't hear me.
No, but her, I'm in her restaurant. Her clientele did.
What?
I said, I'm in her restaurant. And, well, there's not anybody really sitting near me. So, but be advised, there are
Okay.
sensitive ears. So yeah. So
Are you having a lunch?
Yeah, I'm having lunch. It's an Italian restaurant. I'm having lasagna, chicken lasagna. And it's only $10, so I can afford that.
How much?
$10.
Wow, man, that's very reasonable.
Yeah. I mean, this is a nice, coffee, bread, butter. Yep, can't beat it. And it's good too.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
you haven't mentioned your buddy John for a long time. No love anymore?
No, he's still doing the same thing. I mean, he's basically stuck in a loop. So, there's nothing different going on. There are many, meaning it was 60 degrees below zero. Christmas up there at the Deep Green. So I left once I got my Social Security check, like the 3rd of January, and I went down south, first to Asheville, and then a little further down to Wilmington, and then over to Maryland, and came back up through Virginia, and stayed about 2 weeks with John, and nothing changed. And I gave him all kinds of opportunities. Hey, we could do this, we could do that, we could. And he threw me out 3 times in those 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
And so instead of driving away, I just went down and went and had breakfast at a place downtown, and talked to some people. And after 3 hours, you need to come back. But the 3rd time was the charm, and I'd already packed up everything. I already helped him with a few things he needed help with, and it was a beautiful morning. So when he said, "Get up," I just kind of got in the car and drove away. It went back to the deep green. And it stayed in the 60s for 3 weeks, all of January and the first 2 weeks of February. Then February got a little bit of cold for 1 week. And then it went back to the 60s at the end of February and most of March.
Hey.
Yep.
Should we go by him and have a coffee?
We could do that. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we can do that. We'll do that, huh?
it is 170 miles one way.
Well, up to you, man. I mean, it's not a big deal here. It's up to you. You're the boss. If you feel like it, yeah. If not, it's not.
Right. And that can be on our agenda. And you would be. Roanoke is a good town to check out. So we'll see how he goes.
170 miles one way?
Yeah, 170 miles one way.
Whoa, baby, that's kind of far, man.
I know.
That would be an expensive coffee, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And every time I take a ride, I mean, I really have to be sensitive about my car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has a lot. Now, right now, it's running pretty good. So, all of the above. Well, I take it one day at a time.
Well, thank God your car is pretty good. Otherwise, you'd be fucked.
Pretty much. I mean, you know me. I'd work it out one way or the other.
Yeah, I know you do. You're like a cat with 150 lives.
Yeah.
Hey, this morning I was going to check on rainbow stuff, but I forgot about it. I don't know if you did anything.
I called a few people and nobody is. It's like they're brain dead. You know.
Okay.
So where was the last year? Where was last year?
It was in Colorado, sir.
Mm-hmm. And where in Colorado?
I forgot, man. What's the town?
That doesn't matter. How far from Boulder or Denver was it?
Not too far. I think closer to Boulder, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Do you remember the name of the national forest?
No, I'll have to do some research. I'll let you know when I get there Friday.
Because there's a place up there. It starts with R, and it's kind of right where the Continental Divide is.
Uh-huh.
So the mountains are pretty high up. So were the mountains pretty high up?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No. Few of them, but nothing. There was no snow, and it wasn't that high.
Right. So, I mean, and that place I used to go to, I forget the name of it. There's a big lake up there, and it's in July, there would still be snow on certain mountaintops.
I don't know if it's the same place where they had the first one, but I mean, it's the same state. I can tell you that, but I don't know if it's the same place.
So, do you have any friends in California?
I have no friends anywhere, man.
Hey, I'm your friend.
Yeah, you're my friend, but if I ask you for $1, you said on my phone, I cannot hear you, man. You said, hey, man, something.
I would give you $1.
That's all. I know $1 is the max you could give. Man, so no friends in California.
No.
I have an acquaintance.
Right.
Right.
Because they have had along their whole ridge up in the mountains of California, they have had over 3,000% more snow than they've ever had. 3,000.
Holy schmuck.
You're talking about like 30 feet above normal.
Well, they had a lot of rain also.
Yeah, down below, which washed whatever plants were there away.
Yeah.
And so when this snow melts in the next 2 weeks, there's going to be floods like biblical. Because all that places have been burning for the last 10 years. So there's no trees, no grass, no nothing to hold anything down.
I was going to go to SEMA, and they have those, what they call that, super blooms. This year is a super bloom for the flowers
Yeah.
in California. And if I didn't come to see you, I'll be probably going to Antelope Valley in the close to LA. There's a place where you can see it. It's close by. And
I wouldn't go this year.
Because
Flooding.
huh?
Flooding.
Oh, flooding?
Yes.
I don't know if it's yet. Flooding is, I think, it's super boom is happening as we speak. I don't know if it's flooding in the next 2-3 weeks, maybe.
It's going to flood between today until September.
Whoa!
I'm telling you,
September.
30 feet higher snow than the highest snow they've ever had.
Oh man, this is going to be disaster, man.
And today they are going to up in there. Can you give me a refill? Yeah, thank you. They're going to. It's been up there in freezing land, like yesterday. Today it's going to be an 80, and it's going to stay hot until all.
Oh my God! It's going to come down all at once, huh?
All at once, yeah.
Oh my! It's not going to be pretty, man.
Like I said, don't go and look at the flowers this year.
Okay.
Now,
Okay. So, have you heard about those? In Chicago, we had something like a riot. It wasn't a riot, but the bunch of kids descended on downtown and caused a lot of havoc.
yeah, I've heard a little bit, but not really. I mean, it's what do they call that? It's a
Flash mob.
that's it.
There was about 5,000 of them.
Whoa, that is a lot.
5,000 of them descended and went to downtown, and we're not going to use the N word because there's a lot of people there, but that was the N people.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that we have a new mayor-elect. He's a black dude, and he's looking for excuses. They are not given opportunity. They have no way to vent. But actually, I've never heard of Indians causing havoc. I never heard of Chinese or any people from the East causing havoc. I never heard of Eastern Europeans going on a riot. I've never heard anything like that.
Well, you know me, I'm a demographer, so I look at what the crowd's made out of. And the bottom line, you know what the N-word translates into? When you
No.
it's not black. The N-word is a Latin word that deals with stupid people.
Okay.
And pretty much from my experience, a stupid person isn't a racial characteristic. It's, So I would say that the mob that showed up had whatever the demographics of Chinese, Eastern European, whatever folk in Chicago is, I would say in that mob, there were a number of all of the above. And the only real essence of who was there.
Hold it. Just a second. You don't know what the fuck I can't say. You don't know what you're talking about, young man. Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I've been here over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about actually this is my 30th year. Okay, listen to this.
Right.
7 years ago, 8 years ago, all of a sudden, we have these beautiful urban beaches, beautiful beaches, really, no problem. 7, 8 years ago, they started descending. I am talking about the blacks only. We are not talking about demographics here. Stop fucking looking for any excuses, any psychological this and that. Stop sugarcoating this, okay? We have Koreans here. We have Eastern Europeans. We have Thais. We have Filipinos. And for the last 7 years, you have this bunch of black people, young punks descending to the beaches. In numbers, man, in numbers. So you are telling me demographics, you are telling me this and that. Come on, man. In the group that we had 5,000 last week in downtown, they were attacking tourists. They were stripping everybody, breaking into cars. There was nothing but black. Stop fucking making excuses, man. Okay? Nothing but blacks. 95% of them were blacks.
Well, then you'll like being here because everyone here is white.
Well, yeah. Yeah. So, it's lately we have a problem with that. Now the police is giving heads up everybody. They say there's usually a story in advance. They say, be careful if you're going to this place. There is a possibility because the police gathers info. They have this intel and they follow social media like everybody else. They were supposed to be last weekend, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. They were supposed to attack some mall. But the police were prevented that because then so that's what it is, man. It was a big problem in downtown because it's a tourist season now. Magnificent Mile in Chicago is the heart of business of tourism for us, and they all came to the heart of that. So it was a pretty big deal. So that's what it is.
Well, when a situation like that occurs, it isn't a bunch of gang tweakers. It is orchestrated.
Yeah.
So it's not just a bunch of black kids. It is something done that is orchestrated.
Well, that's orchestrated for sure. So it's well organized. I think so too.
So and I would say the people who are well organizing it aren't black. They have other agendas.
Okay, whatever.
Well, well, a good example is from where you came from. The war in Yugoslavia was that. I mean, when I was in Yugoslavia in '84, you could feel the tension between the different groups. But what amazed me was how everyone had been married into each other. The Serbs and the Croats and everybody was married into each other.
Yeah, true.
And so, after the Iron Curtain fell down, and about 5, 6 years later, Milosevic.
You're almost there, lady. Almost there.
Mm-hmm.
Home stretch. I'm watching these people running by, man. That's how I inspire myself to run one of these days.
One of these days.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you walk, I mean, that's all that keeps me alive is walking.
Can you? How far could you walk? Could you walk a couple of miles?
Yeah, but how I have to walk is I walk, then I have to sit down. Then I walk, then I have to sit down. So I can walk forever, but I just have to every now and then sit down.
Well, as long as you keep moving, man.
Yep, exactly. That's it. I mean, the road that I live on, Colonel Sanders and Grandpa, they shoot up that road in their big trucks and they rip it apart. And I go up and down it with my little rake and just kind of rake the potholes I make. And I make and whenever it's going to rain real hard, I make these little swells. So instead of water ripping the road up, I get the water to go off into the woods. And that's my exercise. I walk about a mile and I have my rake with me and my chair. And I'll walk up there and then I rake. And then I sit down and look at the BB. And I get up and I walk up a little bit more and rake and sit down. And, in about, 40 minutes, I fix the road and I walk back home. Right? So.
Yeah, you should join some yoga class, baby.
Oh, I'd have to drive 40 miles just to go to a yoga. I do yoga myself. I'm a yoga boy.
80% of yoga practitioners are girls, man. So you would do well there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I bump into girls without having to do that.
You bump into them? What do you mean bump? You bump into them?
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I'm still waiting for one of them. I bought myself a nice cologne and everything. Still nobody calls me manly man. I'm going to pay somebody to call me manly man.
You can pay me. You can pay me. I'll call you manly man.
Okay, man. You call me. This guy's laughing at me. He thinks I'm a fag or something. So, so hopefully somebody down there will call me manly man.
Good luck with that. They will not understand you.
Huh?
They will not understand you.
Nobody will, but that's okay.
But it'll be okay because you'll be with me, and pretty much everyone knows me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So
Well-
it's my turn now to go to the cemetery, bring my crossword puzzle.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, that's my thing, man. I take my crossword puzzle. There's my favorite tree in the cemetery. It's like a fir tree. Sit there for an hour or so, talk to my tree, do my crossword puzzle.
Yeah.
So that tree knows all my secrets, baby.
Well, nature is good to have as a friend. That's for sure.
Okay, mister.
Yep. Hey. So, I'm about to pack up what's left of my lunch here. It's a very yummy lunch.
Did you take home whatever is left?
Yep. I always, it's always 2 meals.
I see. You tell them it's a doggy bag for your cat or what?
No. Everyone knows it's another meal for me.
Okay, man.
And some of my restaurant friends, they will, take my plate and put it into a to-go box and put some other stuff that's out in the back of the kitchen there. So
Everybody knows you there, right? You've been there for so long that everybody knows you,
yeah,
huh?
pretty much. Hmm.
Okay, man. It's nice.
Yeah, it is.
You're like a regular, huh? A regular guy there.
Yep. And they like me because I have always interesting insights for their life. And that's how I meet my next girlfriend.
Okay. You mean that's she's your virtual girlfriend? She's in the clouds, and you're imagining her, or what?
No. It's I'll be out and about. So 3 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, was winter time, and I went to my doctor's and I stopped at the supermarket to get something like I'm going to do now. And I was in the, when I go to the supermarket, I get the motorized wagon, and so I'm riding around and getting this and getting that. And I'm coming out, and there's this woman in front of me, and she kind of would flip by in the supermarket, and she was wearing jogging shorts and a tube top, and that was it. And it was like 20 degrees outside, and so I'm driving out and I'm looking at something and I'm not paying attention, and I almost run into her, right?
Uh-huh.
And she's situated in such a way that when I almost run into her, my nose is up her butt, and she has the best butt you could ever believe.
You're not. I'm trying to imagine that situation, man.
And so she turns around because she stopped short, right? She stopped short, and I'm like, eh. And I turn the wagon so I don't run her over with the wagon. And like I said, my nose is right at that height. And she turns around, and I look up at her, and she is a goddess, a black goddess. And she has an Angela Davis afro, and not too many black women have afros these days. And she has a gigantic watermelon and 2 jugs of maple syrup, and that's all she's got. And I look at her, and I'm like staring at her chest, and I look at her and I say, well, I guess maple syrup isn't just for pancakes anymore. And she laughs so hard, she nearly drops the watermelon on my head.
No, this is funny. It
Right?
really is funny.
And I kind of catch the watermelon, And she laughs even harder because she goes from laughing and dropping a watermelon, and because she has it on her shoulder, it kind of rolls off her shoulder. It looks like it's gonna like smash on my head, but I kind of turn and I catch the watermelon. Anyway, so we start talking, and we're out in the parking lot. We talk and we talk. And it's winter time, and she's like barely dressed, and I said, it's getting a little cold. When it was in the sun, it wasn't too bad, but she was getting a little cold, and so I said, why don't we get in my car? So we get in the car. And I have all these things I write, and I basically I go through my box. Oh, here, read this. And she's reading. Wow, this is really good. What are you? I said, an itinerant scholar. And she goes, I'm kind of that myself. And I said, really? She goes, yeah. I'm in the U.S. Army, and I'm a lieutenant colonel, and I'm a doctor and a PhD, and I study virology. I study germ warfare. I said, oh. I said, so you're at Fort Dillon? Oh, well, you know about that. I said, of course I do. So we talk and talk and talk, and it's Friday, and the sun is going down. I said, so what are you doing here? She goes, well, I'm doing some research. One of our projects is based here at ETSU, and I'm doing, seeing how they're doing with it and what they're doing and da-da-da-da. And I've been here about 3 weeks, and I'm going to be here another 3 weeks. And I said, no. And I said, other than that, what do you do? And she goes, that's all I've been doing. I said, so you haven't taken a day off? She goes, well, they have a nice little apartment in the college, and I just kind of, go to the lab, go to my apartment, go to the dining hall. That's all I do. I said, so here it is Friday. What do you got to do for this weekend? And she goes, well, I was going to collate some data, but what do you got in mind? I said, well, I live, So she goes, okay. So I said, so here's a girl who is, barely naked. And so she leaves the watermelon and the maple syrup in my car, and we go back in the supermarket, and I buy a big salmon and some vegetables. I'm going to make a really nice dinner. And so she goes, okay, that's great. I'm going to jog over, just see over there. That's where I live. I go, okay. She goes, you drive over there. I'm going to jog over there so I can, I have to finish my jog, and I'll leave the stuff in the car, and I'll get some clothes and some stuff, and I'll drive my car. She's a smart girl, so she doesn't want to stay there because I'm out in the middle of nowhere. But she still comes with this old guy out to the middle of nowhere. And so we, have a lovely time. I make her a beautiful dinner. We're on our deck. It's the middle of winter, and I have these. Do you know what a deck
What?
A loading platform heater is? When you're outside and they have the heaters that keep you warm, they're like, don't heat the air, they heat you, right?
Yeah.
I have one of those on my deck. So we're sitting under that. We're having this beautiful dinner. It's the sky is starry night, no lights, and we have a real nice time. And then we tell stories, and then we go to bed. And she comes in my little man cave. I say, here's a really nice sleeping bag, and you can sleep on in the hammock here, and you can watch the stars. And she goes, no, I want to sleep with you. And I said, okay, sure. So we spent a whole month together, and the guy, my neighbor, who's like part of the Ku Klux Klan, and I knew him pretty well, and he wasn't in good shape. So the first night, she's there, a Saturday morning, bam, bam, bam on the door. And I go, and I'm not a morning guy. I said, honey, why don't you go see who's at the door? And so, and I'm even thinking about that. I'm just half asleep, and I'm kind of tuckered out. And so she's, in her underpants, in her brassiere, and she's got the, Angela Davis gigantic afro. And she, goes to the door. I hear the door open. And then I hear a crash, and she goes, "Ow! You got to come out here." I come out there, and it's my neighbor, and he's like Ku Klux Klan guy, and he sees this half-naked black woman in my trailer. Meeting him at the front door. He has a heart attack. Well, he was already having a heart attack, and he came down because he wanted me to drive him to the hospital. But she's a doctor. So she went into her car and she brought out a little black bag and she had all the right stuff to keep him from having a heart attack where he would die, right? So she shot him up and took care of him and he comes to and I'm there with him. I go, how you. He goes, am I in heaven? Is she an angel? I said, he's definitely your angel, buddy. She saved your friggin' life. And he goes, oh, wow. He said, my girlfriend is coming to take me to the hospital. and anyway, I go in to get something. So the girlfriend can, come and get him. And when I come back, they're both U.S. Army guys, and they're both Rangers. She went through Ranger school, even though she's this brilliant scientist. And, so they're bonding at being Rangers. Anyway, so he stopped being Ku Klux Klan guy because of her. But the girlfriend showed up, and he goes to my friend, you have to go, and my girlfriend can't see you because she's worse than I am. And I like you, but she would probably shoot you. She's always carrying a gun. And so, my friend doesn't even blink. She goes, no problem. She gets in the thing. The girl shows up. We get him in the car. Anyway, he goes, before they drive, he goes, here's the keys to my house. I want you to stay there, but take care of my dogs because I don't know how long I'll be in the hospital. I go, oh, no problem. So he has a really nice big house. That's where, Colonel Sanders lives now. And so he basically, and he had really good internet. So she didn't have to go back to school. She spent 2 weeks there in that house. And the killer dogs just loved her. So we had a great time. The killer dogs, her and me. And he had a jacuzzi and a nice shower and a fireplace and, TV, internet that worked. And so anyway, so she and I have been sweeties ever since. And she's come and visit twice. And so that's what I call an affair to remember, right? So
Yeah, I remember you. I know you told me once when she came to visit you.
right. So
That's the one, huh?
yeah, so that's that one. And I have two more that I've met, like my librarian girlfriend. She's the same one.
I see.
So they're women who are self-contained and they're happy to be with me and they're happy that I'm not like, oh baby, I love you, let's get married, that I'm just having a good time with them and they like that.
Yeah, I see.
So that's so I don't look for girls, they just bump into me.
Yeah, you sure can entertain them, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. That's what they're looking for. Entertainment.
Yeah, that's what they love, baby.
Yeah. I mean, that's why your wife sticks with you. You're entertaining.
Yeah. True. That's less and less of that, man. Yeah.
No, but you're entertaining her in other ways that endear you to her.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she would have thrown you to the curb a long time ago.
True. That's all true what you're saying. Yes, you can see it, man.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't fit the mold, man.
No, that's 100%. You don't fit the mold.
The mold, I make the mold.
Well, I don't know. I think you are the effluence of the mold.
Yeah.
It's the stuff they put into the mold. That's you.
You know that book, How to Talk to People and Influence. You know that?
Yeah, that guy. Yep.
And I should write How to Be Nasty Motherfucker and Influence People. I should write a book like that.
Mm-hmm. I keep telling you that. I keep telling you should be writing about your stuff.
Yeah.
Because the more interesting our YouTubes are, the more YouTube, puts a clamp on. They don't get rid of us. They just keep us down on the forum.
Yeah.
How many subscribers do you have?
I changed the channel. I have 2,001 of them, and I changed the channel, man. I have a new channel now. I'll tell you when I get there because the first channel I was not able to monetize, even though I have almost 1 million views in one of my video, and they don't want to monetize it, so I have to play along. I went last week.
Exactly.
Last week I went to the Exotica show. Exotica is for porno stars. There's a convention, porno star convention
Here
in Chicago. And we had it, so I'm not able to post anything on that channel, man. So I have to be nice for a while until I at least monetize it, then we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anything else to report?
Well, nothing spectacular, man. Nothing spectacular. When I need to talk, I don't know what to say. And when I think of that or anything to say when you hang up the phone, nothing to report.
Yeah, usually that's how it works.
Yeah. So listen, let me go.
Okay, I'll let you go.
Let me go, and I will see you Friday at 4:45. Right?
Yep. I'll be wearing a green hat.
I'll be wearing some funky hat, baby.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Later.
Talk to you.
Yep. Oy. I have a little box. Well, gang, I'm going to say goodbye. How much juice do we got left? Oh, that's so. What days do you work?
I'm working Monday through Thursdays.
That's good.
I'm getting ready to move.
So, are you moving to a place that you like better? Is it going to be more fun, more happy, more
It's gonna be more security.
more security? What do you consider security at your age? Do you really need to think of security? Why? What's
My girlfriend got a house. She's gonna pay for it.
oh that kind of security. Okay, different. Okay. So what are you, 24? When I was your age, well, a little younger. Between 17 and 24, all my girlfriends were at least 20 to 30 years older than me. I was basically a pool boy.
Oh my god.
But even better, because it was New York City and these ladies had some
Yeah, that sounds fun.
serious dress.
Yeah.
And I was always not just servicing them, but I would get, because I was a really good electrician and other things. So I would meet them in that. Like we watched The Electric Company and Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Barbara Harrison started that, right? I built her first video studio, right? So that's how we became. So she, and all these women, they didn't make the money. They either married some really rich old dude and screwed them until they died, and then took the money, or they were, kids into the family again. So. And so I was around that world. So that's the kind of girlfriends I had from about 17. My first girlfriend, my first real high school girlfriends, but at 17. My girlfriend was 85 years old. And she had the most wickedest, amazing house. She had a real house down in the West Village. And it was from whale days, back when the Dutch were there. So it was like being on a farm. She had goats and stuff.
That's crazy.
6th Avenue was like right there. Right there. All the gay folks and she had been there. She knew every poet and great artist since like the
20s.
That's crazy. That's cool then. To show you around?
I met all of them.
Yeah, that's fun.
From that point on, my career was made in New York. And her father was an astronomer. She was English. Her name was Halley. And she was named after a comet or they named the comet after her. I'm not quite sure. But she had been in India when she was a little girl, so she knew all of these guru guys, right, before they were the whoop-de-doo. And then in the 60s and 70s when they showed up, and they'd be like at Madison Square Garden with throngs, they would stay with her. So she high and his bodyguard would be like meditating and hovering off the floor. Yeah, I had a pretty. And it's sad that that kind of world is still there. Nobody seems to want to go for the gusto.
I don't know. I go to all these music festivals and stuff. I feel like that's another person thing.
So did you ever hear of Floyd Fest? I started that
That way.
with Chris.
Yeah, that's cool.
We both had our
It's getting
we both
bigger.
had our hippie buses, right?
Yeah.
And he went around to dead shows to sell
Yeah, that's it.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
And I went there working for the whoever to look at what the social dynamic was. Right? But anyway, we became best of friends, and we kept kind of bumping into each other. We were in Asheville. We were in this place, that place. We were following a similar path. And anyway, he came to Roanoke, which is an amazing town. You ever go to Roanoke? So it has some
Yeah, I'm
real.
from Virginia.
Yeah.
Virginia. Caswell, Virginia.
Yeah, which is not. So Roanoke really should be like the San Francisco of the East Coast because there's so many these threads that run through
Yeah.
music
Yeah.
and culture and business and the railroad and everything. And it has this self-defeating kind of motif. So I was there
I'll agree with that.
about 20 years, like especially between the early O's and 2010, which is a period of we did amazing things where it should be like in a stratosphere now instead of in a door. Because, so anyway, I bumped into him, and I'm downtown, and there was this guy who sold drugs, and he used this much of this gigantic warehouse. I said to the guy, "So, would you want to rent the rest of that warehouse?" He goes, "I don't use any of it. How about $300?"
Oh my god.
Yes, it was like 10,000 square feet. It had a mezzanine all the way around, and I rented it out to artists, the studios.
Probably made your money just off the
Oh,
art.
way more,
Right.
way more.
That's smart.
And then we started doing raves there, which was like off the
That was
hook.
fun.
Yes. So, your new niche, so you can get into the flow, and step up to your potential. I'm telling you what it is. So, what's going to make? So this is the low fruit of these restaurants. You know, the Gatlinburg one that probably makes the most money. The one over in Elizabethton probably has the biggest flow, but this has the most potential. So, how much are you in the music scene of this town? Okay, then that's good enough. What's going to pick this up, and you will make a better salary at this?
My friend DJ, they do all like the bass nights and stuff. They play it.
This place
Bristol and
needs a
Rumble.
house.
Yeah.
If that, you take those tables out of there and pack it with 100 people.
Wow. The DJ out there.
Right.
Fun. They want people here, but they don't.
That's I told you. It's like getting okay.
And I'm like, I can do that. You
That's,
know, like,
and that's what I'm saying. Didn't I just say you want to go in your higher flow there?
yeah, right. Bro, that'd be cool.
I'll
I
help you
played
do it.
here. Yeah. Dude, I appreciate that.
Marilyn Monroe. Julian.
Did you already pay for it? Yeah. Fun though.
So what I would do, I would get a big thing of muslin that's like maybe 10 foot tall, and some bamboo that's tall, and cover all of that with a white thing, and then project. You know those kind of
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah, the
right?
projectors, yeah.
Right? And so that would be the disco look, right? And it would also keep the sound inside there instead of going all over the place, right? And we keep the crowd, meaning, so they'd come in through that gate, not this way, right?
Yeah.
And I would put, I'm not quite sure whether to put the tables all along here, because you wouldn't want somebody who were getting ruckus, pushing chairs through the window.
Yeah, right.
So maybe push all the tables against that, and put the bar, put a big bar
Right there, yeah.
right there, and basically stuff that with 100 people.
Dude, if I have people, like my friends do it, like we get people out all the time.
And that's
they
it.
Pack the rough article.
Right.
And then, like,
And if you did that every freaking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that would be 10 grand, right?
that would be easy. Yeah. I'm like, you can make so much money. Great.
Yes.
Yeah. And like we already have the DJ, but like my friends have
So you got the
projectors.
DJ,
we have
they got the liquor license,
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. They have a cool patio.
and you could, since it's outside, you could stick 100 people in there without anyone dying. 50 would be comfortable, and sell tickets at that gate.
Yep.
And put the little bands around you, ID them, put the band around the wrist. They go the liquor thing is sold. You can share.
$5.
Yeah, that's it. $5. And give that to the DJ.
And
Yeah.
we do it.
So yes, so that, and then this place would bring the folk in,
I agree.
and you
Because they would
started.
see it. They'd be like, oh my God, what are they doing? The kids are having fun. That place is cool.
Right.
We should go eat there.
Right. And you start the music, and what you would do is you would get one person, you would keep the dining room tables just like it is, and you'd have that skim up there that you could take down anytime you want. Right? Real easy to put up and down. Right? And you might install the projectors underneath that awning so they'd be protected and you don't have to refocus them or anything. And some down lighting there for the bar, and have dinner, and have a guy at the keyboard, maybe
Do you know any good jazz musicians? But they are, you know anybody in music department in ETSU? That's what it is. So that is one thing. Now that's something you can do. You have the chops to do that.
Yeah.
Next thing is to find somebody who will sit there at a piano and a saxophone or a girl singing where they're making nice music from about 4 in the afternoon until 8 o'clock in the DJ.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Yeah, I agree. No, I think that'd be cool.
And you could probably,
Most kids are saying.
oh yeah, she's all over for it.
Yes.
If I tell it, George, yes.
I'm trying to tell it.
And the other side of the coin is that in a place like this, you need to have events.
Yeah, I agree. I wish we would. We have all these huge parties and we don't set it out for catering. Like we just serve them like it's a normal. It's so
Right
fun.
now.
Dude, it's so fun.
It's
We'll have 50 people come
you
in
like
and they'll
such
be
a,
like,
is that your
sorry.
kitchen over there?
What?
Is that the kitchen over there?
No, that's back there.
But it's probably no bigger than that.
Decent. It's probably
Oh, no.
it's probably.
But it's not a
whole
catering.
side of that
It's
wall.
not a catering.
No. I mean, we're getting people coming in here with like parties at 60 and we want to serve them. And it's like,
No.
it's virtually fucking impossible. Like, it's not fun. And then we're making nobody tip. We don't do auto gratuity.
Right, right.
Nobody tips on it. And it's like, dude, we just did all that work for one.
So see, that's what I was telling her. You have 3 ways to go with it. You can either just cruise with what you're doing, and you'll be as stressed out as you are.
Yeah.
Expand in other things where you make a lot more money and
Cooking more.
and what you do is because she has a very good staff, that's not quite using them. And so, like you should be doing this, you should be doing that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So yes, I'm going to come back later in the week, and because I gave her all of this. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you about. As I said, that's the guy to do it. I said, you need to take half of your staff who are really good, like Mike and James and you and that young lady.
Melissa.
Yeah, and the girl with glasses. She would actually be a good phone person.
Melissa?
No. Well, she would be, but she needs to be something else. Like, she has other talents.
Yeah.
Now, the girl who was serving there on Sunday, I met you.
Celia?
Because you don't have to be a rocket scientist to do that. You just have to have that kind of malleable personality, which that girl has.
Yeah.
And she's
she'd be
smart
good
enough.
at it.
She's, yes,
She's like very personable and nice and just
and
happy.
she's also very over thing for detail, which is not good for being a server. You don't want to do it. He would be that. So anyway, have her do that. You guys need to, Alyssa, that's the girl who was here, right? I sense that she has an artistic sense. She's a girl who should go into ETSU and find the musicians and the this and that. And the other thing is, there's art galleries in this town.
Yeah.
You should get them together and have openings here. Take the mirrors off and put the paintings up and do a little different with lighting.
Really cool.
That which, because people come to an art show, will come to a nice restaurant over and over and over. Then they have to find a big, this is what you should do. A large space, like that place I found. This guy was using this much, and something about 7,000 square feet that you could do bigger things.
I don't know. I was looking at that rooftop place beside the Goodwill, or close to it, and they have that trampoline park.
Is that where the swimming pool is? When you come in on that side of the town?
I don't think so.
This town is like, you can't get there from here. I've been here 20 years, I still don't understand this town. It's out of sight. But first things first is that.
I think it'd be cool.
Because that'd be so easy to do. You wouldn't have to change anything. It would change the dynamics of the place. It would be hot spot. Because this town is dead. There is nothing happening. It needs it. I mean, there's that Down Home Place and a few other things. That's the other music place.
They down home. They play stuff at the Hideaway. And they do it.
How big are those places?
I was probably like half as big as this one. And then Horrors.
But they're small.
It's like 2 floors, so it's not as big as this place. And Bones is pretty big.
Is that a disco? Yeah. There's no disco.
No, it's the bar inside Demons over there. They're on Wonderland. It's cool. It's the closest thing that's the place like DJ. That's pretty cool. I don't know. I don't think it's like working into the college scene.
But this town is dead. This town is dead.
Yeah.
It needs something to spark it up. And Roanoke, every so often we could spark it up, and because we had that place was everything. All these artists living there. We had art shows there and dance and all kinds of stuff, and we had a rave. And then this girl came in from Cincinnati with some money, and she rented a 20,000 square foot factory building just on the other side of the highway. And the highway's elevated, so we could just walk over the top. And it was not a part of town that the cops thought no one's there, so we never went there. And I knew all the cops. They did not want to work. So between this time and this time, we don't go over.
Right. We're good. We're good.
Around here, the police are too stupid to be lazy. Tennessee is a pathetic state. People keep voting in guys with total crooks and steal from them.
Gun laws are crazy.
I mean, statistically, it's no big deal. So maybe 300 extra people die every year. They probably should. But what it does to the angst and energetic.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And you think that we're in the hood or something.
Money is like
I mean, where I live on 321, right between Buckle and Plymouth. I'm about 4 miles from the border of North Carolina. I've been there 20 years. Right next to the lake. The lake is just a mile.
Yeah.
And for 18 years, nobody was there. So, every time somebody came to look at the property, I put on the clothes underpants and pretend, boy, you got a nice mouth. They were gone.
Yeah, like Cleveland.
And after the pandemic, all these people from California, Texas, and New Jersey, that didn't even phase them.
Florida too.
Yeah, it didn't even freaking phase them.
So like, whatever, we'll put up a fence.
Yeah, right. And so they came and they put fences on other people's property and tore every bit of beauty that was there down, and then turned it into like a military encampment. And this guy's got 4 kids, 16, 14, 11, and 8, and he bought them all AR-15s. And he wants them to keep them in their rooms with a bullet in the chamber, just in case, so they can be ready. And little Bobby is going to get an angst with daddy and take everyone out.
Right.
And he's a felon, and he's carrying his gun. He's always got his gun. I said, buddy, he's got all these signs. If you want to know what it's like to be dead, just come on my property.
Like, why are you so scared?
And he's got guns like this everywhere. I said, what
Are
you're
you
doing is
scared?
advertising. And he tells everybody where he lives. Right? And he constantly is inviting tweakers in to work for him. And then he pisses them off. And then he gets another batch of tweakers.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, just the tweaker.
I've been there for
Not
20 years.
stealing
Everybody
it.
knows me. They know I don't have a gun. They know I have nothing. You know, I'm like very hollow-esque, you know. I have all my stuff on my deck. You know, so people, you know, he has t-shirts and books and flip-flops. And,
Right.
You know, no big screen TVs here. Yes. So, okay. I want to get this thing happening before the end of May. So that's so what's your title? Title is
DJ necessary.
I like that DJ. That's
It's my last name.
I like that. On my business card, it said, "I only work for people who find me necessary." I don't need you. You need me. Okay, so I think that's a good thing. How are you on public media? Well,
So
you
they
should,
cause me more problems. I don't do a lot of
That's a
self
personal-
marketing.
but you need to develop the technology. We're gonna have to talk about this.
Oh, you should just do it.
Yeah.
Somebody's good at it, but doesn't hate it. It's like, oh, I like to do that.
Right.
I'll be like, "Okay."
So that's your job, is to find that next level. So I said, you get to stratify your employees. You need some upper middle management, middle management, and servers. Like your chef, he is definitely upper management. He's running the whole show. Right?
Yeah.
He's good at what he does. But don't you like him?
Just some small things that don't make sense.
Well, that's life. You gotta learn to ignore that shit.
I wish I could.
What sign are you again?
Answer.
You're uber sensitive. And also, you doubt yourself. Well, okay, let's work on getting this thing happening by, we don't have to find the saxophonist and the piano player, just,
Somebody.
yeah, but that's just the DJ and the bar. And do they have any kind of movable bar stuff? It's easy enough just with some sawhorses to make a bar.
I'm sure you can
You pretty much, you pretty much would want to put the bar in front of that whole window so no one comes in this way. I mean, maybe have that one door over there so they can go to the bathroom. And I'd almost put a portage on it. Don't let them in here.
Right.
Okay, that's, okay, give me a hand. Perfect guy. I finished that movie. He's sleeping here tonight. Okay, that sounds like a plan. So put that in your mind and visualize it happen.
Visualizing it. I'd love to see it happen.
No, it is happening. I'd love to see. I wish it could. No, it is happening. That's the way. That's how you visualize, manifest. Not go, oh, I wish it would. Never happened. Do you have little bags?
Yeah. Just got one.
Just so it won't go all over my car. Okay. Okay. So, we almost out of juice. Yeah, we're getting low. So there you go, guys. A whole story of you just heard the beginning of a new bang. Well, it's good talking to you. Hope you enjoyed the show.